All right, great. All right, welcome everybody to week 6. We are rolling along, week 6, and I know a lot of people, including me, took a pass this past week. I just want to make sure that when you guys take a pass, you don't lose the momentum, right? You got to get, start Monday, start fresh, back on track, moving forward, especially if you already have, a couple of passes already, because we still have, a few weeks to go. I also want to say this before we get into tonight's training. I know a lot of you are completing your, weekly summary, which is great. But if you're truly having all of those connections each week and you're not enrolling anybody, we need to talk. This isn't about going through the motions. This is about learning, getting better, developing your skills. And so, when I see that, I go, well, what is that connection? Like, was it a real connection? And did you follow up? And are you not relying on three-way calls if you're not comfortable? Like, this is the stuff you really got to not just go through the motions. I think so much in life we go through the motions and then we wonder why we're not achieving our goals. So just give that some thought. There's no judgment. I don't know. I'm assuming based on everyone in the Samurai game should have hit that Nashville contest. And if you didn't, don't beat yourself up. Never, ever, ever. It's just a matter of, you have to reach out for help. We work as a team. If you're not producing what you want, but you're truly putting in the actions and really doing the do, then please reach out. Okay? All right, So what I wanted to go through tonight, obviously we've been going through a lot of different things, and, last week we were really talking about, up until the enrolling conversation, you address their objections, you found out a little bit, what their goals are, what their pain point is, and really being that listening person, really finding out more about them and their pain point so that you can offer the solution, make sure they know that you care, you're listening, you're hearing them, because it's not just in your head like, oh, wait, am I going to say the right thing when I talk about, the pack or how you're going to get them started. So I want to talk about some things that, sometimes I just assume that everyone knows some of these things, and then I find out that there's so much, there's so many little things to learn and to know, and you don't have to know everything. We learn as we go, and we learn as we earn. So never let that stop you. If you feel like, oh, I need to know this, I need to know that, I always say, like, don't get ready to get ready, because going for it, just doing it, going for it, and maybe sometimes, falling down or making a mistake or feeling like you didn't say the right thing, all of that is a learning experience, and we just want to continue to get better and better. We're all a work in progress. 15 years later, I am still learning every single day. I learn from you guys. I learn from people that are even, within 1 year they just started in Isagenix. I learn from, the leaders that I resonate with. I'm constantly going to events, listening to stuff, because I'm, you hear this a lot, all these years later, I made, we're successful, put it that way. And sometimes I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing. So if you guys ever feel like you don't know what you're doing, hello, welcome to the world of building a network marketing business. But my point is, you can't wait until or, you have posture of confidence, and the confidence will develop as you step into that, if that makes sense. So it's kind of happening simultaneously. Okay. So talk about some basic things that I just want to make sure that you guys know. And I'm going to talk about how I do certain things, but listen, I just came back from Top Achievers. Tomorrow night, I'm going to share the highlights and some things from that event, so I'm not going to do that on tonight's call. But what I realize, and what I continue to realize over and over and over again, because imagine, it's a room filled with the top leaders, the $1 million per year earners, the six-figure and multiple six-figure earners, right? So it's people that are really being successful. And if you talk to every single one of them does it a little bit different. Some of them do it a lot different. Some of them build completely through social media, and some of the OGs that have been around, like Jay Bennett, who's making, a couple $1 million a year, and Herb Cepeda, and some of these big leaders, and they don't know how to do social media. They admitted it. So if you think, I got to get really good at Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, no, not necessarily. You have to get really good at connecting with people, and then you use whatever avenues you use. Belly to belly is still ultimately what we want, right? So I just want you guys to be clear on, if this person's doing it that way and that person's doing it that way and they're both successful, what's the right way? There's many right ways to do this. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to, get good at a few different things, or find your own little groove with how you get people started, how you enroll, how you coach, how you onboard people. And it may be, different than the person next to you or the person, whatever, but whatever works, as long as you're coming from that authentic place, you're coming from your heart, you're coming from the place of really wanting to help another person and transform another person's life, whether it's physically, health-wise, and or financially, wealth-wise, right? So just know there's a lot of different ways, and you got to just find your little groove, find your little groove, find the things that you say that flow out of your mouth that feel right. But I'll tell you a couple of things that I do, so maybe you can, do it similarly. But again, there's so many different ways that people share, and, what packs they use. Now it's all this, about the Forever Pack. But let me just tell you something, that's not something that I'm ever going to lead with. I'm not saying that's wrong, right? You want to find what works for you, but we get confused when we hear when this group's doing that and that group's doing that. Just know that it's whatever you totally immerse yourself in. It's because it's that posture, it's that energy, it's that confidence. And until you have that, then I'm not going to say fake it till you make it, but that's when you rely on the team and you just stay authentic and you keep getting better and you fall down and you get up. Just like when we learned to walk. We didn't get up, fall down and not get up, and we just never learned to walk. We just kept getting up and getting up and getting up until we could walk. And with this too, you're going to keep, whatever, doing this, doing that, maybe, wanting to beat yourself up. Don't. Just look at it as lessons to learn so that we continue to get better. So we're going to talk about some, enrolling kind of basics. So first of all, I would never recommend enrolling anybody without AutoShip. So you guys may or may not know this, but if you enroll somebody without AutoShip with a pack, you're not going to get double PIBs. You'll get a PIB, you'll get a product intro bonus. So let's say you enroll somebody with a value pack and you get the $100 PIB, right? You get a $100 product intro bonus when you enroll somebody with the value pack. If you have a second person and one of those two people were not enrolled with AutoShip, you're not getting double. So keep that in mind, because we always want to go for double PIBs. That's a lot of money. We never had front-end money back in the day. It was all residual or $10 bonuses. We never had any of these bonuses. Yeah, Sherry, go ahead. I just don't want to get too far off the beam.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in just about the AutoShip thing too. I always say at the end, when I set up your account, I'm going to set up the AutoShip feature. It's going to save you $10 right off the bat. And because it's if you enroll without AutoShip, it's $39. You enroll with AutoShip, it is. So yeah. That's not lying. But also then I say, we've got plenty of time I'm just going to, but now that we can't use the $1 in there, I say I'm just going to put one small item in there to set it up so you get the discount. But long before the end of the month, we're going to touch base and make a plan, see what your inventory is, and I'll show you how to manage your account from there. But, if you don't like it, remember there's a money back guarantee. If you don't want to deal with the auto ship, you can always cancel it with a phone call or even just letting me know, but why not save $10?
Yep. Great.
Yeah.
So, yep. And there's a difference. There's a difference in price of the membership. When they enroll with AutoShip, they will save $10.
And you get special offers and deals when you're on AutoShip compared to when you're not.
So Zyla, their total first order will cost more without AutoShip than with. And just so you guys know too, the company's direction, we'll talk about more of this tomorrow night. The company's direction is there will be more lifestyle rewards that are going to come up where the retention's going to be so much better. There's going to be so much more incentive to continue on product and continue and, all of that. For now, there's a big difference in price. If someone reorders a pack, if they're not on AutoShip, the pack price is way more expensive without AutoShip than with AutoShip. So just know that everyone gets enrolled with AutoShip. End of story. They don't have to be obligated to receive more product. Just like Sherry said, you're going to have a conversation with them at some point with your system, how you want to do it, what day you want to have that conversation with them, so that you can explain and show them where their AutoShip is, what the date is it's going to be sent out. It would be a good idea 1 week before their first month when that AutoShip is about to ship, whether it's a container of shake or a bottle of cleanse or a whole pack, whatever you're deciding that you want to put in there for them. First of all, they have to know that it's coming. And secondly, before that is about, I'd say a week before, schedule that appointment with them where you actually are going to find out where are they at in relationship to their goal. Do they need that? Do they want that? Which flavors did they love? Do they want to try this or that or the other thing? So, it's all about communication and guiding people. People really want to be led. You cannot, and other teams have done this, you can't set someone up with an AutoShip and then not be guiding them and being in touch with them and staying connected to them. And all of a sudden they're going to get a box or a pack or whatever, and they're going to be pissed off. And that's where people just get no, that's why people are so freaked out about AutoShip. But when you explain that there's no obligation, they can change it or cancel it at any time. And what we're going to do, we're going to go over what your needs are as you get closer to your goal. As long as you're communicating that, then people feel comfortable. They don't feel like they're obligated. So that's something you would want to schedule so you don't forget. So always, always sign people up with AutoShip. Now, we know that there's the new difference of when you sign someone up, everyone gets enrolled as a preferred customer. And then they have the opportunity to convert their membership to associate so that they can earn money, right? So if they share with others, they can earn money. If they don't convert, instead of getting a PIB, they get a PIR. They get a product intro reward coupon. So they don't get money, they get a coupon that they can use for more product, right? Now, there's a couple of different schools of thought. A lot of the leaders immediately, right when they enroll somebody, they have them convert to associate. Because if you haven't noticed, a back office of someone as a customer is very different than a back office that has converted their membership to associate. They're not going to see their team summary if they're a preferred customer. They're not going to see a lot of that. They're not going to see as people maybe under them that's been added by you or someone else on the team, as a possibility or whatever. They're not going to see that as a customer. So when we started this, I've been doing it. I'm not saying this is the right way, but my thought is, let's get somebody a really great product result, and maybe hopefully within the first couple of weeks when we have the conversation and they're ready to share with somebody, then we convert them to associate, because that's when the clock starts ticking, right? So that's my thought. That's what I do. Sherry's thumbs up. That's what she does because, Zyla too, right? So a lot of us are doing that, but a lot of the leaders, no, they're saying right away convert them, because then there's a sense of urgency. Then you can actually have the conversation, listen, because like what Hillary Courtney does, and I'm just going to give her as an example. She has been in the company 17 years. She is $1 million per year earner. And every single year, her business has increased. Every year. She hasn't had a plateau. She hasn't had a dip. Every year, she's growing and growing and growing. So she converts everyone right away. And she says, to complete your enrollment process, here's what I want you to do. So she has them log in and plug in their social and their date of birth. And now, boom, they don't even have to watch the video now, right? So she has them do that right away. So then when she goes over their back office with them, she's showing them the view as an associate. So she can really show them more of the comp plan and sharing and what that's like. Not doing a business, but just so they know what it's going to be like, to get their products paid for. This is what can happen. So 2 schools of thought, one way versus the other. I just like doing it when they're ready, right? But you may find, and you may follow Hillary or some of the other leaders that convert right away, and you might say, you know what, I want to do that because I want to have that sense of urgency and I want to have that conversation right away. Yeah, go ahead, Cher.
If they haven't converted yet, or they're a little hesitant to convert, another idea is we can see where their box is on the tree. Go to team view placement tree, do a screenshot and say, look, you've got 5 people underneath you. You can't see this because you're just a customer. But why don't we go in and just, upgrade you to associate? It doesn't cost anything. It just puts you in a position that you can accumulate points and get paid. If you just, because eventually you are going to have a friend that says, what are you doing? You look amazing. Or even down the road, believe me, you will have 1 or 2 friends. And at that point, you will have accumulated points and you can cash them out. But in the meantime, look, you've got a whole team of people growing underneath you.
Yeah. So realize that, guys. As a preferred customer, they're not seeing that, but you're seeing it as being above them. You're already, plugged in. You're an associate. You're building your team. So you take a screenshot, send it to them so you could say, look, you already have this amount of volume or these many people. And the visual, they might have no idea what you're talking about, but it will provoke an opportunity for you to have that conversation. So that's what's really important. So now, a couple of things. As far as, we all know that in order to be a consultant, active as a consultant, you have to have 1 personally enrolled customer or associate on each leg, right and left. So first and foremost, we all know the power and importance of your own obligation, your own overhead, covering your active status of 100 points every 30 days. That should be, for all of you on the call, you know that. You know that. Now, for your customers, they don't necessarily have to do that. Of course, when they become an associate, that conversation needs to be had. But if we're talking about placing a new person, because a lot of people are like, and by the way, like if you go back into your own back office, and you guys should get really, really familiar with your own back office, do the back office tour. It's in our resources. Do it for yourself. Know what each of the things are. Play around in there, especially if you're fairly new. If you've been in for a while and you've never really explored to know what's in the resources, the contests and promotions, every single one of us need to be plugging into what are the promotions, what are the new promotions, the rules about it. You should know, you should be plugging in and you should be able to share that with your people. Even if your team is very, very small, if you have 1 person that's starting to share, well, depending on where they're at, you want to be sensitive. But if you have a business builder, then they need to know that. They need to also know about their back office and these different tabs and what's in there and what we can go and look at. So as far as like where to place people, so, we always want to make sure that we ourselves are active. So if you're a consultant, you want to have an active associate on your right and your left, each doing 100 points. Or a few that add up to that. But remember, it has to be your personally enrolled that are doing 100 points every 30 days. If you're an executive, and that is always the goal, guys, that's your goal. If you're right now an associate, not even a consultant, the map to Crystal Executive or the map to executive, if you passed your Crystal date, that's really what you want to be plugged into. Because at the executive level, there's all kinds of overrides and That's really where the gold is, right? There's pool bonuses and all kinds of other stuff. So if you're at that level, then you want to make sure you always have your 5 on your right and 5 on your left. That's why we hit executive and then we go executive again and we go executive again. We're constantly prospecting. We're constantly looking for new people to enroll and help them get paid. That is really the simplified version of what we do. We help people to get well, to lose weight, to get energy, to have a great product experience, and then we help them to get paid, to at least get their products paid for. So you always want to look on your tree or in your personally enrolled to make sure that you have both sides active. If you don't, then your next enrollment has to go on the side that you need that, right? Hopefully you guys are following this, and I'll open it up for questions. So that's the first thing you want to make sure of. Now, if you have that handled, if you're a consultant, and now it's a matter of where do you put the next person, a lot of people have the mentality of, oh, I just want to cycle. So you're going to keep putting them on the same side, the same side, the same side, because let's say you have some banked volume, or you're on a team with some leverage and there's volume waiting for you. Well, that's cool to cycle, but really, if you listen to Jimmy Smith, the #1 all-time money earner in our company, and you guys know who I'm talking about, his whole thing, and we learned it 15 years ago, is, it's very easy to do this business. You put one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, and you keep going right, left, right, left, right, left, because you don't know who's going to turn into that builder. And executive is the key, right? That's the plan. Go executive, then go executive again. So I get you want to earn cycle bonuses if you have a lot of volume, but if you keep I'm telling you, if you keep putting people on that same side just to get the cycles, all of a sudden you're going to go inactive because you didn't pay attention to that other side. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. If anyone's lost, then we need to get on a separate call together. Yeah, go ahead, Cher.
Yeah, in the beginning, even for the first couple months, take the time when you've got someone to enroll to, check in with me or Ina or Zyla or Felissa or Laura, whoever. Just say, is this the correct placement? And one thing to think about is spouses have to enroll spouses. So you can't think, oh, cool, I got a double PIB. I'm enrolling the husband and I'm enrolling the wife. No, it's got to be a spouse enrolls a spouse. And you want to think that way also as far as one on the left and one on the right. You want to keep a family together. I try to keep people at the same gym together, or people in the same, friends together. So they're kind of, they've got that team already starting. But you're going to have a lot of random people, and one on the right, one on the left, because it gets really hard to become an executive if all you're thinking about is, I've got 5 or 6 on the left and you've got to put them on the right. And trust me, it'll work out the best if you just follow what Ina said, but keep like groups together too.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So always know, if you got a husband and wife, you cannot put one on each side. They have to be enrolled by the other. It's a policy in our company. The other thing, and that's so great that you said that, Sherry, you don't want to put, and honestly, if you look back, Jimmy Smith put one daughter on his right, one daughter on his left, which still blows my mind. He created competition between his daughters. It worked out. They both did really, really well. So it's, no biggie. But most of the time you really want to keep people that know each other. If you're at a work environment, put them all on the same side. If people are connected, keep them together. You don't want to create that competition. There's a lot of teams, that are having, just, drama on their team, and thank God, I'm just going to knock on some wood. We don't really, our team's pretty solid with that. Like, we don't really have that, at least not to my knowledge. And that's great. And we want to keep it that way because, we're too busy helping others to, get all caught up in BS and drama. There's enough of that in the world. We'll keep it out of our, what we're doing here in our culture. So let's just talk about the packs or how to get people started. This is me, okay, and I'm sure Sherry and Zyla and some of the other leaders on the team. we like to lead with a pack. And I personally lead with all three. So I give people three choices, the weight loss value pack, the weight loss premium pack, or the weight loss basic pack. Now, not everyone wants weight loss, but I feel and believe from every cell in my body, and I say it all the time, not everyone's overweight, but every single one of us are toxic. And what we fell in love with 15 years ago, what many of you fell in love with whenever you started your journey, was the cleanse. You did a jump start. You had an amazing experience and your well-being went through the roof, and maybe you did shed a couple of pounds or maybe a lot of pounds, but that's what got us really turned on. So I think that everyone should experience that, unless they just can't because of health concerns or something or other, right? There's always going to be those kind of modifications. But so weight loss pack, well, for the cleansing, yes. And if someone absolutely doesn't want to lose weight or can't afford to lose weight, then we just modify their calories and their plan on their shake days. But they're still going to get the value and the benefit of nutritional cleansing. So I personally always offer all three packs, and I go over those three packs, and I usually will show them a visual. So when I'm talking to them, and I might not be on a Zoom, I may be on a phone call, and if they're at their computer, I'll say, can I send you the visual? So that way they can see it while I'm talking to them. If they're not in front of their computer, I'll talk it out. And some people are ready to pick one, and others want to see it, and then I'll send that to them. So many of you have that PDF, and if you don't, mine isn't even updated with the new value pack price, but I think someone posted in the group, I think it was maybe Susan, that posted the new sheet, or the new visual of the packs, right? So however you want to do it. Go ahead, Cher.
Also, if you have the IsaSales tools, there are the product sheets. So when they look at, you can send the value, the premium and the basic 30-day, and they look at them and they can see the products that are in the box. And if you click on it, it lists them and all that. So the sheet is great. If you have IsaSales tools, that's great too. And
yeah, and yep, Heidi's showing it there. So that's cool. Yeah. And it is good that they can see it, but again, sometimes it's not going to be that situation. They're on their phone, and you're talking to them about it, and you're explaining. Now, I'm not going to go through, and I can always do it at another time, what I say, what I do, how I present the different packs. I'm sure Sherry does it different. Zyla does it different. You can YouTube Jennifer Trinkner, or go into I think it might even be on isagenicsbusiness.com, who now enrolls with the Ultimate Pack. But, there are how to enroll with the Value Pack samples. And some people, some associates, some leaders will break down and ask people, well, how much are you, going out to eat? And how much are you spending in a day for your, coffees and your donuts and your lunch and your dinner and your breakfast and whatever? I personally don't do that. I'm not saying my way's better. I'm just saying I found my way of doing it and it works for me. You're going to find your way of doing it and it's going to work for you. And if you don't have a way yet, you're going to rely on three-way calls and get a variety, schedule calls with different leaders so you can hear the pitch, you can hear the explanation. And then at some point, you're going to be doing it on your own. You're going to be doing it for your people. And at that point, you're going to learn some verbiage and you're going to feel comfortable. But if you're not comfortable now, you have to do it with somebody. Please, if you're not getting enrollments, you're not reaching up or out to the team. Okay, so I really want to emphasize that. So they pick their pack and, and cool. Now, what about the people that they don't have the money? And we talked about feel, felt, found, and some people really don't and can't, and they're not. Or you're going to get the people that say, oh, I just want to get a container of shakes. And, again, there's different schools of thought even on that. At least you'll get a customer and they'll at least start using the product. That's cool. That's fine. Are you going to get a PIB? No. Might they become your biggest business builder? Possibly, right? I like to let people know that this is a synergistic system of products that work together to create these phenomenal results. And I would be doing you a disservice if I just said, oh yeah, you could just get the Cleanse for Life and try that, or you could just get a container of Shake. So there's different situations, and I'm not saying right way, wrong way. You want to 90% of the time, at least from my opinion, you want to enroll somebody with a pack, one of those 3 packs. And for those that might get lost in the sauce of, oh, what about the Forever Pack movement? Some of the leaders are calling it a movement. If you want to look at that, then you can. The leaders on our team, Sherry, Laura, we're not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, that's just not what we're going to do. We're not going to latch on to that. And the way that can work is if you really just immerse in it, and then every single person, I don't know, we had a conversation, we don't really feel positive about it. But again, there are different ways to get people started. So I don't want to say that, oh, just starting with one of those packs that I mentioned is the right way or the wrong way. It's what you're going to feel most confident with. That you can feel not only confident, but you're knowing that you're guiding them the right way. You want to feel good about what you're suggesting for somebody from your heart, not from your wallet. Yeah, go ahead, Cher.
Yeah, and I agree with Ina. I think those are 3 great packs to go with. Even the basic, if you don't need to lose weight, you can do daily cleansing, but it gives you that whole synergistic product experience and also a good chance to change your body in a month. But I'll be honest with you, and I've been much more open recently to not holding back on the 9-day cleanse and the healthy lifestyle pack, because you get some people that are really young and have no money and need to be convinced, but they're impetuous and they're excited, but they're not going to go to $300. And I tell them the problem with the 9-day is, yes, you're going to get remarkable. And I started on a 9-day. I would have never gotten a 30-day. Just saying. But so don't feel like you have to slit your throat if you're selling someone a 9-day. But explain to them, you're not going to get the goodies to make it easy. And at the end of 11 days, you're going to be pretty much out of everything. So my recommendation is, if you want to go with the 9-day, at least get 1 more shake so you have something to keep the nutrition going in for the rest of the month. And same thing, people don't need to lose weight or even need to gain weight. They're not going to change their lifestyle. They eat healthy, but they like the idea of cleansing. They like the idea of having a convenient meal. The healthy lifestyle pack is, I think, a good, one of the lower tier packs, because it has Cleanse, Ionix, Shake, Isodelites. What's wrong with that? Is there anything else in there? I think that's it. 2 shakes, 1 cleanse, 1 Ionix, and Isodelites. So
let me just say this though, and good point. There are those smaller packs. I don't like, honestly, like 9.5 out of 10 times someone's starting with a pack. Mostly value packs and premium packs. I sell basic 30-day packs, but now with the free shipping for a $300 product order, I'll encourage them, if you're going to do the basic pack, then let's add another product so that you get free shipping rather than spend it on products than shipping, right? That's like no brainer. So most people will really settle on the premium pack if they're not going for the value pack. But here's the thing. Jennifer Trinkner leads with the ultimate pack, and she's a rock star closing people on the ultimate pack, which is $1,000 whatever for that pack. Why is she so good at it? Because her confidence and posture around the ultimate pack that's what she thinks is the best thing for them. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not, So posture is so much of this, guys, right? And so if you find yourself constantly settling on, oh, I'll just sell them the 9-day. I'll just sell them a healthy lifestyle pack. I'll just sell them one of these little packs. If that's happening a lot, then you have to really, just look back at your own issue, perhaps with where's your comfort and Are you relying on a third party, one of us or someone else, to be that person on the call to close the deal, right? Because if you're struggling with those, really rely on us to help you. So Zyla says also their total first order will cost more without auto ship than with, right? I use that as my fourth choice. If someone is really desperate to start and can't afford the full pack, almost every Forever Pack person has stayed and ordered more. I warn them they aren't going to get crazy results like some of us do in 30 days, but they will get results. Or 9-day. Okay, yeah. So there's different ways. Again, you want to find your groove with it. A lot of it's going to depend on who's your audience, who's your market, who's your avatar. You know, if it's like college kids that don't have any money, then yeah, you're going to, you know, that's probably going to be those smaller packs, perhaps. Couple things I just want to say, and then I'll open it up for questions. First of all, when we talked about your back office, and I want you guys, if you're not, get really familiar with what's back there. And you want to take your people through there. And we're going to talk next week about, you know, when somebody is, you know, I'm going to talk to you about coaching your people and when to have certain conversations. So that's going to be really important. But in your back office, there's also step up to success, rank advancing training. So depending on where you're at, if you're a manager or if you're a consultant or if you're, you know, if you're even an associate now, not a consultant yet, or wherever you are, you can go back in there. You'll see on the right-hand side of your back office, there's a training center. And if you click on that, it's going to show you step up to success, rank advancing training. So where you are, to get to manager is different than getting to director, different than getting to executive. If you're still an associate, you know, do the training to, you know, and of course, again, rely on your team. Like, let us help you to rank advance. How do you get good at all of this, any of this, anything that we've talked about in all these weeks? You get good at this from practicing. Like I said before, we learn as we earn. We're constantly learning, and we're constantly just trying to become better versions of ourselves as people, moms, friends, sisters, children, whatever, and as business builders. You know, this for some are very new, some not, but we're all working towards getting better. And a lot of times the way you get better is to screw up. You know, just like David Wood says, every master was once a disaster. Every one of us, when we've done lots of different things in life, we started out as disasters maybe. I know I did. And, you know, it's like you have to just be brave enough and be, you know, not care so much about what people think, because people forget anyway. It's, you know, it's really all about them. So just keep moving forward. Just get better, grow yourself, and keep practicing. You know, you're going to learn as you go. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and learning from it, and rely on the team. So we'll just open it up for any questions or any challenges that you guys might be having. So if you want to unmute yourself, please go right ahead.
I'd like to add one thing real quick, and that is everybody, if you're doing self-development work at this time, read the book or get the audio book and do it while you're on, you know, walking or at the gym or whatever, the 5-second rule. Because what we do when you're just starting is you overthink everything. You overthink everything you do and you hesitate. Just screw it, say it, do it, you know. And I just read it and it was great for me. It's great for Ina. You know, I think Kathy just read it, and that's a great book for everybody to read at this point, because you know where your speed bumps are. You're either not talking to people, you're not following up with people, you're not creating interest. You know that speed bump, and it's really your head that's getting you in the way of you opening your mouth or taking action, and this will help.
Or you're verbally vomiting. You're saying too much because you're not following what we've been talking about, you know? So if you've been doing that, just recognize it, and you can, you know, certainly move forward from there. Any questions, guys?
Ina?
Yeah.
I remember Glenn, like you said, is great. He's the tech guy, you know, and way back he did a visualization of the you share, they share, you know. Just wondering if he could release that again. And then if you are going to do like explaining the packs or something, if he can put together something.
So what, I mean, he'll totally share his PowerPoint, but rather than that, Heidi, and, you know, if you want it, anyone can have it. I mean, everything we have is yours, you know, everyone's, like, you know, we don't hold anything back. But what is it that you want it for? Because if you're doing it to learn the comp plan, then there are the videos and all that. If you're doing it because you want to show somebody, that's cool, but let Glenn show them while you listen and learn so that you get more confident and comfortable with it, right? There's no reason to have that. And again, you can have it, but I don't know why you want it. And you know,
I just remember seeing it and it was like, aha, that's, you know, he explained it really good. That was great. And then you mentioned next time, you know, you're going to share how to sell the packs. So maybe
not going to do that. No, next I'm going to really talk about how to coach people and once they get started. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, and you know, Glenn, he probably has a recording of it, but you can certainly at any point, he's happy to do his comp plan presentation. He's really good at it and he loves doing it. So anytime, yeah. Even if you want to see it and then have the slides and then even record it yourself, and, you know, or we could do a Zoom and record it and you could keep watching it. That's fine. Whatever works. Yep. All right, guys. Any last questions? All right. So sorry I went a little longer tonight. So please reach out if you need any help from any of us. And meanwhile, have a great, great week. And you're welcome, Susan. And yeah, hope to see you on the call tomorrow night. We're going to share some really great, great stuff from the event, and we're fired up. So have a great night, everybody. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.